Hey, what's up, you guys? Willie Jacob here to bring you my movie review of Suicide Squad, which was just released in theaters back on the 5th.
4th or 5th? I always get the day wrong.
The main day was the 5th, but I think they released in some theaters ahead of time on the 4th. Could be wrong about that.
Yeah, it's the theater I work at. They did a pre-screening on the 4th, but it was only for people 21 and older.
Yeah.
Because there was alcohol involved. Yay!
But anyway, we finally went and seen it just a couple hours ago. I was happy I got to see it in a timely manner too. I know it's still behind pretty much everyone else because they all rushed to the theater as soon as possible.
Oh God, yeah.
But unfortunately, we just had to wait for our work schedules to mesh and
for it to not be busy, so I could actually get a ticket. So yeah.
But anyway, we got out of it, and she's here to do the review alongside me. This is Lily.
Hi.
She's my sister.
No, I'm not. I'm your girlfriend.
She really looks a lot like Harleen Quinzel, though.
I'm going into a psych field, so it's kind of scary.
Yeah, it's
really nervous now.
Anyway, so I did my video on, of course, the studio interference with the movie. I just want to say right off the bat, it's at times you can notice that there probably were scenes that were in the middle of certain action sequences or something like that. But overall, it wasn't quite as jumbled or convoluted as some were saying it was, at least to me. Although it's obvious that there were some things that probably were there that aren't in the final product. And of course, there's all the extra Joker stuff, which we found out were cut from the movie. But I just want to get some of these general things out of the way first, though, before we dive into the specifics. The Joker, I thought he had it's weird to say healthy and Joker together, but
I know, right?
I feel like he had a healthy and appropriate amount of screen time for the movie, personally. Of course, I would love to have seen more of the Joker, considering the greatest comic book villain of all time. But at the same time, I'm going with the idea that it was a Suicide Squad movie, so it didn't really hurt it too much that he wasn't in it that much more. And when he did, we'll talk more about Joker in a few minutes, I'm sure. But and as far as the movie being lighter than what it originally was, I can see that. But there were still some serious moments that did sort of grip you for the characters a little bit more, especially with Will Smith's Deadshot and Harley. They're definitely the two leads of the movie. So overall, right off the bat, I did want to say I enjoyed it quite a bit. Definitely doesn't deserve all the critical bashing it's been getting.
People bitch too much.
But I'm just happy to see that. It seems like a lot of the audience seems to have heavily enjoyed it, at least on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
And it has, of course, made huge records for the month of August in the box office, so I'm really happy to see that. And of course, this girl, she jumped on the Harley Quinn bandwagon a few months ago, so she is pretty excited to see the movie.
So excited!
Now we'll talk about the plot a little bit. It's not that complex or anything like that.
No, it really isn't. It's pretty straightforward overall, but there's still enough there though to where you're still kind of pulled along for the ride.
It's pretty much just there to get our characters together and along for the ride and see how they mingle with each other and stuff like that.
Still super fun though.
Yeah, I didn't think it really had to be any more complex than it was really though. I mean, like I said, we still got moments of depth with the characters, especially like Deadshot. I feel like he got kind of the most of that.
Then it'd be in second place for that. It would easily be Harley, though, because it goes back to when she was originally the psychiatrist or whatever for the Joker.
Dr. Harleen Quinzel.
Yeah.
But
and showing her in a sense literal fall into madness.
Yeah.
Dive.
We'll talk more about the Joker and Harley stuff in a few minutes, but the basic setup for the movie is basically Viola Davis's character, Amanda Waller. She has this idea, okay, well, Superman's dead at this point, but, they recognize at this point that he shared the moral values of what humans at least should have on Earth.
Well,
but what if
he grew up with humanity, though, too.
Yeah. But what if, the next person with, the power of, similar to Superman, he chooses to just, try to kill them all or something
basically
like that.
Dick.
Yeah. So basically a contingency plan. with the government. Although, of course, you know how the government is. They don't want it like blamed on them if it all falls apart, so they pick some of the worst people they can think of. So if it does get screwed up, they can just pin it on them, and then they'll be able to sweep it under the rug.
Or give those people a death sentence and say, hey, now you can't say anything about it.
Yeah, and they basically plant these things.
Basically, they're like miniature hand grenades, basically.
Yeah, about the impact of that.
I think they said, supposedly what the guy was saying, it was the size of a grain of rice.
Uh-huh. And then they could detonate that if any of them like stepped out of line or tried to escape or something like that.
They detonated it on one of them, though.
Yeah, we seen
no one who don't give a shit about.
Slipknot, he could, as a meme said, climb good, but then...
Climb good, but nope.
I did see like a couple of people I did want to see more of Slipknot in the movie, but you know, I'm not really that familiar with the character. I didn't even know who he was.
I thought it was making a joking reference to the band.
Then he would have been more. He would have been more like dressed and stuff like that.
I'm completely uncultured.
Yeah, but I didn't really think Slipknot's lack of screen time really mattered. To be honest, but
I think it's just kind of like for them, it was kind of like a kick to the balls, realizing that this is what happens when we get out of line, even though we want to keep pushing the boundaries so much, especially Harley.
Yeah, but and then with Amanda Waller's plan that tied into it was developing with. Cannot pronounce the actress's name, but the Enchantress's, or June, you know, with what was going on with her and being possessed by the witch and such, that turned into like sort of a bigger hoopla than they were really planning on. So they basically had to deal with that. I forget where it was all taking place, what city it was in, but
Midtown, I believe, is what it's called.
Yeah.
So it wasn't in Gotham or anything like that, so it's not some place that we're extremely familiar with.
Because if it was Gotham, Batman
that would have been there in a heartbeat.
Yeah. And so the movie is basically them going through the city, trying to get closer to where Enchantress is at. And then you have Rick Flag, the Rick Flag character. You know, he sort of has a romantic history with June anyway. So he sort of kind of divided himself on how to deal with it. I pulled up the Wikipedia page for some reason. I closed it.
Oh no, not smart.
Just doing this so I can remember all the actors' names besides the big three.
Big three.
But yeah. Okay, so Joel Kinnaman. I recently seen him in The Killing, which I do need to watch more of at some point. He played Rick Flag, and I actually liked him more than I expected to. You know, he can be a pretty good actor.
So much less of a dick than Amanda.
Yeah, Amanda Waller, you know, she's pretty much as she is in the comics and the Justice League cartoon and such. And yeah, you dislike her, but
you just want her to die.
She's pretty much exactly what she should have been, and Viola Davis did a good job with that.
She embodied it well. It was like the entire time you're watching this character and you're like, please just die.
And of course, Harley Quinn. I'm using her in the thumbnail. You know, she is definitely the most promoted character in the movie besides the Joker, really.
I like her a lot.
And yeah, Margot Robbie did a great job. She was she definitely took all the scenes she was in, just made them her own. I really think she embodied the character really well.
So good.
Once in a while, you did kind of hear a Brooklyn accent slip through a little bit.
Well, yeah, because I think in ways they didn't monopolize so much on the Brooklyn accent because I feel like people would get irritated really easily. So I like how they just kind of like sprinkled it in now and again.
Yeah.
You could hear times where she would get like very lovey towards the Joker, you would hear that a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's like, in a sense, one of his like preferences for her to have her embody that more when he's around, when they're together.
And we even got a couple moments of seeing the Jester outfit. You know, we've seen some of the flashes. You know, when their relationship was beginning, we've seen her actually in the outfit.
It was so cute.
Then when they were giving all the members their outfits and their gear and
their
stuff,
belongings back.
Yeah, they even gave her a cell phone back so she could text Mr. J.
Stupid.
But anyway,
I think that they didn't give like two flying fucks at the moment either.
Yeah. And you see her sort of like cling to it and hug it a little bit. So
she's like, oh, I remember this.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like a really good feeling.
good little obvious Easter egg in there. So
it was so cool though, and actually
Yeah.
seeing her in the Jester costume though too, because I was like hearing for a while that was something people bitched about though, she wasn't in her Jester costume.
But I was fine with her look throughout this movie.
I loved it. It was so cute.
And people really complain, oh, why doesn't she just be in the Jester thing throughout the whole thing?
But-
But you look at certain comics and you see, I forget which line or which series it was in, but I swear I remember seeing someone having a picture side by side of Margot Robbie and Harley in the comics, and she's pretty much wearing that exact same outfit at some point in the comics. So really,
yeah, she's not in the Jester outfit all the time.
Yeah.
She's constantly doing different outfits, different styles, kind of changing up her look with what she feels is comfortable for the situation. So, like, for example, in the New 52, it's along the lines of what she's wearing in Suicide Squad, but more of the elements taken, though, from the Jester costume. So it's really, really cute, though. It's so pretty. Sorry, I'm having a moment.
Yeah.
I'll hide if need be. It disappeared.
Anyway. And then, of course, the other main character, the other lead in the movie is Will Smith as Deadshot. I'm a pretty big fan of Will Smith. I've liked every movie I've seen him in, from things like I Am Legend all the way to, like, Pursuit of Happiness or
But what
something
about
like
After
that.
Earth?
That wasn't really his movie.
But it was a movie he was in, though.
It wasn't his fault that it was as bad as it was.
But still, what about After Earth? Devil's advocate here. Hi!
He didn't make the damn movie. It's a great concept, but it just executed terribly.
Sucked.
But
God.
yeah. Anyway, I've loved Will Smith in things like I Am Legend to Pursuit of Happiness, 7 Pounds, stuff like that. You can be a really good actor. You can go from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to Guy in Serious Despair and Depression in I Am Legend.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
What?
Fresh here.
Anyway,
I can't speak.
let's stop butchering everything we talk about.
Sorry, I stutter.
Anyway.
I got problems.
And Will Smith is Deadshot. I feel like he was a good middle of the road of what we expect of Will Smith, but he also sort of like played on a lot of the qualities of the character and sort of like brought sort of like parts of the character forward a little bit more. I loved sort of like the subplot of Will Smith and his daughter and that dynamic for him. I thought it actually worked really well and brought a lot of depth to the character, and Will Smith definitely portrayed that pretty well. I loved one of the opening flashback sequences of Batman capturing Deadshot and his daughter sort of standing in the way and such, and I saw everything like that really I felt it, it worked for me. So
one part though that I just really loved though was between Deadshot and his kind of like daughter. It was when he's finally able to go back to see her just for a small period of time, and they were going over math equations. They're trying to figure out, I guess it's like, what was it? It's like the distance of like a triangle, basically.
Yeah, and
from like one point to now they're.
Then they're talking
so
about
she's
how
like,
he'd shoot someone.
so if you're standing up here and you shoot a guy, say down there on the street, wouldn't that be the distance? And he's talking about like all the different things, like
the
chamber
wind
pressure
and
and bullet type and the curvature of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, okay, that's a great kid though too, who can, in ways, just kind of like, she understands what her father does though too. She's not happy with it, but she's still willing to love him through all of it. So I kind of like that though. She's not like one of those hateful, resentful kids who are like, oh, you're such a horrible person, I can't be seen around you, I hate you because you hurt people. Instead, she was just kind of open about it, and she's like, yes, I understand this is what you do, but I still love you and I still want the best for you. So it's kind of showed a maturity on her part, which I kind of liked.
Yeah. And I talked about Rick Flag, which I liked him a little more than I expected to. Then he had Killer Croc.
Ouch.
Mixed bag.
Mixed signals.
Originally he was going to be originally the character in this place was supposed to be King Shark, and I don't know as much about King Shark as I do about Croc, but now I'm kind of thinking King Shark might work a little bit better. But I do appreciate that they had Croc in there because it makes it feel like more of a Batman tied movie in a way.
Batman centered in a sense.
Yeah.
Batman centered.
So I loved having Croc there, in theory. I like that. I think they use mostly practical effects for the makeup and such, so I like that. But just some of the dialogue,
the
I felt like it was a little bit weirdly stereotypical, like gangster type in a way for some reason. I mean, sure, I haven't read like a lot of comics like lately, but I just think of like the Arkham games.
Well, it's like you think his speech would be a little bit more, I guess, mature in a sense.
Yeah,
that's the way to put it.
Yeah. Like I said, I liked having him in there, and there are certain shots where you could see his like eyes glow, and that actually came out kind of creepy.
That was cool.
I wish they would have played on that more as instead of like him being like a pun of like Harley Quinn's joke or something like that. Yeah. But again, I liked having him in there, and there are certain moments where I liked from him. I also feel like he should have been a little bit bigger. Mm-hmm. I mean, sure, you could say he wasn't too far along in his mutation, but yet Ben Affleck's Batman is supposed to be like in the middle of his or towards the end of his career.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like, okay, you think he'd be more mutated.
Yeah.
So that was just kind of weird.
Like and then when he like took off his jacket and
took off his shirt, and you're just like,
he is a little bit skinnier than he should have been. I thought
it was disappointing.
Like, I don't know if they could use like some other practical stuff, like bulk him up a little bit, or maybe like add some CGI if they had to or something. But
stuffing.
But still liked the fact that he was there, but think he could have been done a little bit better.
Like, I still keep looking up at your Arkham figure, and I kind of want him to be that bulkiness.
Yeah. And then he had like a Katana, and I liked her. She didn't get a whole lot of time, but she had moments. I liked her, sword skills and such, and I liked the scene where they sort of like recognize like her actual drive and motivation and such. Mm-hmm. Like where she actually takes her mask off and you see her sort of like talking to the sword, like her, I forget if it was her actual husband or just
it was her husband.
Okay.
He was killed by a mafia sort of group.
Yeah. And his soul's trapped in there, and she just wants to sort of like make her peace if she dies and join him and such.
Yeah, and join him in the sword.
Yeah. So I think the actress did a good job when she got the chance. Mm-hmm. And other specifics of the actors in the movie. And there's also El Diablo. Mm-hmm. I liked him.
His final form, though, when he finally let everything go.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
And he fought against Enchantress's, brother and stuff like that.
Basically, resurrected brother.
Yeah.
Just finding some random guy in a men's bathroom in a subway. Just
to
like,
get
yes,
possessed.
He will be my brother.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of funny.
And I thought his backstory with what happened with his wife and kids was a little bit interesting.
Mm-hmm. So it kind of like explains it too, that throughout a lot of it he was very reserved with when he actually used his powers, or if he ever did.
Yeah.
I can see like why he was very cautious with that, because he in a sense seemed afraid to hurt others though too. So it's not like he's one of those villains who hurts people because he wants to. Mm-hmm. But then he said it was when his anger gets out of control. Mm-hmm. Is when he's more apt to accidentally hurt someone.
Yeah. And then we also had, of course, Enchantress. We talked about what her character's doing, but I did like the actress that played her.
I loved her design, though. Like, the original design that you first see, not once she gets her heart back and...
Yeah.
Basically...
Sort of like the more darker, witchy, blackish design. It's
and like all the smoke and stuff. Smoke and mirrors, basically, that's around her.
Yeah.
But I really like that, though. I don't know. I like darker characters. I thought she was interesting.
And some people I seen were complaining I was too bland of an antagonist. I think they're just mostly talking about like the army she was creating and such. Those were okay. They were there just for
weird.
Just for action scenes, pretty much. But I thought like Enchantress herself came across as a more like visually unique villain than we've gotten with some of the other movies lately. Mm-hmm. Like some people say, oh, she was just as bad as like Ronan the Accuser, like the Thor 2 villain, or Yellow Jacket and Ant-Man or something. I thought she was more interesting than them visually and character-wise. I think they gave her a little bit more to chew on. Although Lily here, she says they wish they would have like delved into her delved into June's psyche a little bit more.
Of like how it's basically how she's dealing with being possessed by Enchantress.
Yeah.
Because you'd think that there'd be more of an emotional impact there.
There was. They showed a little bit.
Yeah, it showed it a little bit, but just me, because I'm a big psychology person, I would like to have seen more of that and like to see like how, in a sense, messed up her psyche is because of just basically just because of that possession itself.
Yeah, I just feel like they're trying just to spread like the time a little bit more with the main characters, I guess.
Yeah, makes sense. But I'm just that's just me though, as a person.
Even though I guess she is the main antagonist, so I guess they probably could have given her a little bit more time with that. But
it might have been in some of. I'm thinking though too. It might have been in some of the deleted scenes that they didn't put in.
Yeah.
Which I believe is probably a very good possibility.
Yeah.
Because I know they said they took out a lot of the Joker stuff, which now that I've seen it, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense that they weren't monopolizing so much on the Joker, where he was more of an attention piece than anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like that, though, to where it still leaves it open, though, for a Batman solo movie, or if they get a solo movie for Harley and then bring him into it.
Mm-hmm. And then he also had, I almost forgot to talk about Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang.
Yeah.
I'll agree with some people. Jai Courtney's gotten a lot of shit over the years. He's, I really did like Terminator Genesis, but he wasn't like an overly interesting like actor or anything.
I've never seen it, so I couldn't say anything.
I feel like he probably, showed a bit more personality or expression with the Captain Boomerang role. Mm-hmm. But Captain Boomerang himself, I didn't really, care too much about in the movie.
Still makes me wonder, though, what the hell was up with that pink stuffed unicorn.
Yeah, I don't know that much about the character.
It's almost like it was making a slight nod to Deadpool, of how Deadpool has his unicorn.
Yeah. I'm guessing there's something about the character that's tied to that, but...
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot about Harley, Joker, Deadshot, Croc, characters like that, but as far as, like, Katana... Diablo, and Captain Boomerang, I'm a little bit lighter on, but it's probably just because they're not as directly connected to Batman, most likely, but still.
Yeah.
But, so that's as far as the cast goes. And
but then you saw the Flash, though.
Yeah, and he also...
That was cool.
He also had the, like, opening montage of when Amanda Waller is going through all the files and sort of, like, talking about what they're all like and stuff. Mm-hmm. Some people thought that was, like, a lazy way to introduce them all. But
it was kind of cool, though, seeing, like, how, in a sense, they were all captured.
Yeah. Like I said, I like the Deadshot and Batman stuff in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And then the little Flash appearance, like she mentioned, it was a pretty cool, quick thing.
It was so cool.
Uh-huh.
Made me happy.
As far as like the ending and such, of course, the final battle with Enchantress and such, it was pretty cool with Diablo's sacrifice and stuff. And you actually have Harley doing the final, giving the final blow anyway. So,
Go Harley.
Again, I really like Margot Robbie in this movie. She came across like very like cunning, and then other times, like Harley is, something just kind of go over her head once in a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Once in a while, though, she had her moments where she's kind of a bitch.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Yeah. And Harley ends up sort of like tricking the witch into thinking she's ready to join her army, and she's able to
bring back the Joker, apparently. Well,
wow.
I'm thinking of something.
What?
Never mind. Confusion. Sorry.
Anyway, the Joker was never actually dead, as far as we know. But
yeah.
Yeah.
And then he comes back at the end.
It's not. I'm trying to.
Go ahead.
Try not to mix everything up here, but
mixing.
Mm-hmm. I kind of lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Come back, train of thought.
And then, like, talking again about the tone and such, again, I can see where it probably would have been more serious in certain parts, or probably would have been slightly less action, more, like, character moments. But again, it had more of that than I expected. It wasn't quite as choppy as I was hearing it was. And it had character-driven moments I liked a lot, like all the stuff with Deadshot, and I love the bar scene where they're all just sort of sitting together and, sulking, but sort of like bonding and connecting at the same time. I really love that scene. That's probably one of the best of the movie. And you really seem like Harley's like a harsher psyche on it all and stuff like that. So I love that scene. And of course, Rick Flag almost develops like a respect for Deadshot and the others, but Deadshot especially, I think. He lets him see his daughter again, like she talked about earlier. And they sort of like all ended back to where they were, but Harley gets her espresso machine and stuff like that.
She was so happy. She was just reading like this love novel.
Yeah, I think it was In Between the Sheets or something.
Yeah. The author's last name was O'Keefe.
Yeah, I don't know for sure.
I know I've heard of the author though, because I had a professor in college who was very big on editing love novels like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to know a lot from her, sadly.
Yeah. Anyway. You can watch more of Lily's videos on love novels on her channel.
I don't have any. I don't read them. They're stupid. Sorry
But,
if you
anyway.
like them, but...
Anyway, then it also seemed like the Joker's death was, teased in the movie and stuff like that. Like, there's a point where the Joker shows up to rescue Harley. He is texting her saying he's on his way and such. And he eventually comes in like a tuxedo and, shooting a machine gun all over the place and stuff like that, which is cool. And then you have Harley sort of grab onto the rope, and she's doing like her gymnast type of poses and such. And Amanda Waller tries to get Deadshot to shoot her, and he he suddenly misses, for like the first time. So Deadshot let Harley Gilly sort of develop a pretty nice connection too. That probably would have gotten a little bit too close for Joker's taste had he been there.
Oh yeah.
But I liked all of that. And then the Joker shows up at the end to bust Harley out, start starting the cycle over again.
Mm. Well, because he comes in the same uniforms as the people who hold him in there.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just really fun, though. He just comes in, and she just gets so excited. She's like, "Puddin'!"
Uh-huh.
It just kind of made me happy. It was like a really... With me, I feel like it was a really good way to end it, of where she just kind of finally gets her Joker back for the time being.
I mean, you knew the Joker wasn't dead. You're just waiting for him to pop back up again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you're waiting for just that moment, and then once it's there, you feel good.
Yeah. And of course, the Joker, he's notorious for cheating death all the time. Mm-hmm. And it's a comic book movie, so,
Well, and as I was talking to you, though, about, I feel like in ways it's kind of like, in a sense, their universe kind of pulling Joker and Batman together, where
the Joker's
Batman
fate
needs to be the one who decides Joker's fate.
Yeah.
It's not some plane crash or some explosion. It's Batman.
And like I said, I liked how Viola Davis played Amanda Waller, but honestly, she has played well and, accurate to what the character is, but I would have loved it if Joker just exploded a bullet in her head. Or even if it just ended in, like, a credit scene of her just being, like, locked in a room with the Joker and then...
Yeah, exactly.
I know we're probably going to see her in other movies. We're hearing about the possibility of a Suicide Squad 2. Harley's possibly getting her own movie with other female, villainous type characters.
Poison Ivy?
We'll probably see Amanda Waller again, but I just really want to see her die.
I think that's kind of like the whole point, though, of having
like
her
I said,
there.
it's the character. She played her well. She is what she is. I just want her to die.
I think that's just the whole point of that character, though, is just to have you...
Yeah.
Develop so much angst, though, just like, I don't like you, I want you to die. So
those are most of our thoughts on the movie. Overall, I really enjoyed it. It's honestly probably one of my favorite comic book movies in a long time. I didn't want to do a whole video to compare it or anything. I don't want to take up too much time with that. But for me, the rankings as of right now would be Suicide Squad. Then you probably have X-Men Apocalypse and Civil War sort of duking it out in second place for me anyway. And then you probably go into Batman v Superman, which I still liked and appreciated more than others, but it could have been a little bit better. Mm-hmm. And then Deadpool, I like Deadpool, but I'm just not like crazy about it personally.
Not like this girl.
So Suicide Squad's probably my favorite so far. I'm really excited to hear about Man of Steel 2 as well, just to note that.
So excited.
Excited that that's actually in active development again. So, and we never really talked about Jared Leto's Joker too much either.
No.
What we really thought of him. I would have been so pissed if I stopped the video without delving into him a little bit. At first, I was a little bit like, it's not coming across quite the right way. But I actually got used to him, and I think with time, I'm actually going to enjoy him quite a bit as a Joker. As he's simmering in my mind, I think I'm actually fine with him playing the Joker going forward. I mean, he's very different than like your Letos or your Nicholsons and stuff like that, but I think he's really going to work for what he is when we see more of him.
Well, it's like with me, I liked all of his theatrics through everything that he was doing.
Well,
so have people coming in like these huge panda suits just gunning down everyone.
You even see someone wearing like a cartoonish Batman mask and stuff like that.
I really I loved all of that, because I felt like it was just kind of almost like the embodiment of like all the different comic book versions of him, just kind of like shoved into one.
Yeah. I think Leto will make a good Joker going forward, so, yeah. overall, I really love the movie. Probably my favorite comic movie in a while, and she really liked it as far as I know. So
yeah, I went in like really excited about Harley Quinn because, well, as you said, I was kind of on like that Harley Quinn bandwagon.
Yep.
But
whereas I've seen her since the cartoon in the '90s where she started, but you know.
Well, yeah, it's like I've seen a lot of that though too, so it's not like I'm uncultured in that. But I was just really excited though to see a live action Harley Quinn.
Yeah. Margot Robbie was the perfect choice for her. She did really well. Will Smith, as much as I already liked him, I was really impressed with his performance in the movie too, and was far more interested in Deadshot than I really expected to be. So yeah, overall, I really love the movie. Anything else you want to say about it?
I was gonna finish up my stuff on Harley Quinn, but then you just kept going. You killed me, man.
Feel free.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a Joker shirt too.
Look at that.
Anyway,
so as I was saying about the Harley Quinn stuff, though, it's like I went in knowing I was going to like her as a character, but after seeing the movie, though, it actually exceeded my expectations for it, and my expectations were already probably about here. So it was this kind of, I guess, like really refreshing, though, in a sense, though, too, because like I've been reading the New 52, and I love that so much. And then, of course, seeing all the other stuff from when I was younger, but I don't know, it's just like she really just stood out, though. I don't know, there's just something about her, though, I just really, really like more than what I thought I would. Yeah, not that in-depth or beautiful or anything, but yeah, horrible discussion on my part. Beautiful.
Anyway, you gonna do the...
No.
Anyway, so those were my thoughts on the movie. Let me know what you thought of it. And yeah, so I'll catch you guys next time. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and theprincipleofthead.com. Like, subscribe, and peace. Fairy dust.
Fairy dust.